Chief? You back to see Mr. LaCroix again? Yeah, he told me to send you up as soon as you came in. Lots of people here to see Mr. LaCroix. Nice guy. His seems a little different, though. You wonder if he's... that's his business. You know, I'm keeping the undesirables out and the innocent safe and secure. I'm the thin blue line that separates the crazies from the hard-working decent folks. Yep, as long as I'm around, Mr. LaCroix's got nothing to worry about.
I've said all I need to for now. I don't have time for a monologue. Give me the bullet points of what you saw. And the Ankaran sarcophagus. What did you see? Opened? Let's not jump to conclusions. Give me the manifest in your notes. I'll sort this mess later. You might have noticed when you came in the parade of malingering mollycoddles filing out. Those were the Primogen, this city's clan elders. A worrisome bunch devoted first and foremost to the security of their own skin. Which is why they were here. It seems Alistair Grout, the Malkavian Primogen, has either forgotten how to answer his phone, or is missing. Each minor problem like a grain of sand. Each night I inherit the desert. The Sabbat's appearance has put the Primogen on edge. Grout's mansion is in the Hollywood Hills. I need you to pry Grout out of whatever crack he's crawled into, and have him contact us. Yes, for the moment. You know, your demeanor thus far bears similar characteristics to those that rise to the top of this organization. Stay that course. Yes, about Grout. As I said, Grout is the Malkavian Primogen. His behavior and home are eccentric, to say the least. He's developed a paranoid bent lately, so you may have to check under every bed in the place for him. When we hear from Grout, you may come back. Until then. Oh, and to show my appreciation for your dedicated service to me, I have secured you a haven nearby, in the Skyline apartment building. I hope it's to your liking.
Money, right? I got your cut right here.
glad you're back. I've been waiting here just like you asked. Your place is, nice. Is there something I can do for you? Anything. Just ask. Oh. Are you married? Is that why you don't want me around? What? You're joking, right? That's like slang for something like catcher or some fetish term, right? Not like a blah, blah, vampire, right? No. No, there's no such thing. This isn't funny anymore. You will. I do love you so much. Whatever you are. I don't care. I just want to be with you. What can I do to show my appreciation? Here, that's all I've got. Me? I'm not so special, you know? I go to college. I'm majoring in fashion design. I think I'm pretty creative. I just started school a year late because my parents died. Car crash. I didn't really have anyone special in my life until you came along. Okay.
There's a little thing called too much information. Caller, you're wilding away. Good evening, babe.
Jesus, bring me a candle, it's Hanukkah!
My man, what is up?
Where to?
You. What are you doing here? No? You should get out of here.
This place is bad news. Pardon me.
It is quite peculiar, the happenings I've been made to witness for my supernatural longevity. I am thinking of one unfortunate phenomenon in particular, unique interest to my station both as a professional and another unfortunate casualty to tide of time, insane asylums. I lament their loss not only as brokerage houses for the breadth and depth of human psychoses, but also I shall mourn the disappearance of that peculiar environment present only in an insane asylum. That palpable atmosphere of blistered brains and churning bowels, the odoriferous melange of freely flowing bodily humors, that gently rolling cacophony of distant sobs and screams, the muttered cursing at perceived enemies, and the blissful gurgling of the lobotomized, like a newborn babe discovering the sky. I shall still test subjects as surely as I find bloody sustenance in the night, but this climate, I fear, may never be replicated. Often I reflect with great regret on the missed opportunity that was my infector. Had I been conscious after the attack, I could have stopped the orderlies from locking her in the roaming pen. What I would give for just one interview, a few My studies proceed at a languid pace. I mire in a foul ennui as my wife's illness advances. My subjects grow restless without proper supervision, but I cannot pull myself back from this blank impression. How many nights I've wasted now, gazing from the tower walk, pondering the frailty of existence. After decades of solitary study into this affliction, I have learned that it is by no means mine alone. Indeed, the city is home to an entire society of similarly afflicted individuals with whom I've only recently made contact. They are an understandably standoffish sort by and large, but I have been able to confirm with them that the condition is indeed vampirism, which apparently comes in a multitude of strains, each with a spectacular set of symptoms such as invisibility and even a sort of lycanthropy. Through numerous official interactions with the governing body of this secret society, I have concluded that their fundamental understanding of the vampiric condition is woefully lacking and mired in suspicion and pseudo-religious dogma that would make a Turk balk for its strictures. Indeed, they seemed impressed with my studies and the eloquence with which I was able to present them. Apparently, the typical sufferer of my particular strain of vampirism is far from the vanguard of the King's English. So impressed were they that they even offered me an office in their government. I have accepted the role of Primogen for Clan Malkavian, the dreadfully winsome label applied to the particular strain of vampirism I suffer, so named for some supposed vampire father figure of old. More poppycock grown from a backward culture that seems interminably drawn to children's tales and the fiction of Victorian romance, when it should concern itself with the science behind their suffering. No matter, for I have taken this office for no greater reason than to advance my research. I must make mention, however, that even among my would-be peers in this governing body of vampires, the level of paranoia and superstition is high. Their intelligence is not affected, oh indeed. As they courted me for this appointment, I had to suspect that their overtures were hand-careless of what must be my obvious infatuation with reason, for the devil would be willing to have such honey among the tempers. Even so, I could not help but notice the dressing of language these vampire leaders chose for their silent song. Whether it is born of habit, from addressing their unwashed, ill-educated subjects, or from their own deep-seated beliefs, their linguistic flourishes belie a faith in superstition over the providence of empirical reason that must be an all-pervasive theme in this society of darkest night. Damn it all, now I'm doing it too. As I expand my dealings with the vampire government, I have encountered a disturbing new symptom of this affliction. Frequently, in conversation, I will hear voices emanating from other vampires, voices that are not their own, but which seem to have insight into their lives beyond what I could gather from simple conversation. These voices seem to echo from deep within my fellow vampires, and I cannot be certain if this symptom belongs to my strain of illness or theirs. The voices are various, inconsistent. I dare not mention this symptom to my vampire vampiric peers, for they have proven themselves true predators to whom I could be loath to reveal any sign of weakness. Indeed, these voices have counseled me against confessing their presence, and until I can confirm their source, I will listen. The information the voices have given me ranges from curious to frightening. The latter case is especially true of one powerful vampire whose name I shall not commit to recording in the interests of self-preservation. The voices have increased in frequency and direction of late. They have begun to stay with me long after conversation has ceased and are serving as quite a distraction. I fear others are beginning to notice my preoccupation at the vampire gatherings. I'm thinking again of the particular vampire of whom I spoke previously, who I dare not name for my growing fear. If the voices are to be believed, then my caution is warranted, for they speak of his blackest crimes, both past and future. More than once, I have seen the suspicion in his eyes and heard the distrust in his voice when speaking. I am no longer safe. I know it. The voices have proven themselves authentic, and I have withdrawn from the Vampire Society entirely. My absence will no doubt draw attention, but I could no longer hold my fragile enclosure around the ravenous eyes of my companions, especially the voices compelled me to make what I fear is a Faustian bargain, but I had to, for their demands are constant and merciless. I have secluded myself within the mansion. I know he will strike out at me. He will go to any length to achieve his ambitions, and he knows that I know. I have taken precautions to protect my beloved wife. The cure will have to wait until our immediate safety is guaranteed. The mansion was constructed with security in mind, but at that time I was...
Count is dead? Pity you could not be by my hand. No matter. Soon your self-made kings and false prophets and all who bear the mark of the beast will be washed from the earth for the coming of the Lord. As you burn, tell them it was Grünfeld Bach who sent your damned soul to that lake of fire. All agents of Satan shall return to whence they came. Let this righteous display serve as a promise to all who serve the hand.
in there? Something burning? Ooh, smells like someone burnt the burgers. Sure, I'll open her up for you. Jeez, I could go for one of them double-spaced burgers. Onions, cheese, bacon.
The Primogens still haven't been contacted by Grout. I thought I made it clear that you are not supposed to come back until we had heard from him. Grout's dead? What? Bok! Every time I think he's lost the scent. So, Bok killed Grout to draw me out. Bok is a hunter. They stalk and kill our kind to appease their god. But like many mortals, their so-called faith is nothing but a conduit through which they quench their killing urge. Who else would have killed Grout? Look at me. Are you sure it was Nines Rodriguez? Because if it was, the consequences... Do you know where this might lead? Do you really have any idea? It means, under most circumstances, I would call a blood hunt on the murderer immediately. However, the anarchs of this city may interpret such an action to be a declaration of war. I do not want a war with them. This decision will take some time. I need to confer with the Primogen on this. In the meantime, I've come to a decision on the Ankaran sarcophagus, and I believe that for the safety of the inhabitants of this city, we need to place the sarcophagus under Camarilla protection until its contents can be confirmed. You're becoming quite indispensable to me. So, out of all my available personnel, I'm going to entrust the retrieval of the sarcophagus to you. It was quietly delivered to the Museum of Natural History a few hours ago. The manifest from the Dane shows there was a small box from the same dig on board, but it was listed as missing. Keep an eye open for it. It may have been overlooked. It's crucial we get the sarcophagus in our possession within the next few hours. Yes, of course. Here. I can't have one of my representatives running around ill-equipped for that task. Here are the keys to the front door of the museum. The sarcophagus should be in an examination room of some sort. There's a small security staff on site, but I don't want a massacre. Mortals are just as easy to deceive as they are to kill. There is a degree of immediacy attached to this task. Work fast. And, as on the Dane, you are not to open the Ankaran sarcophagus for any reason. Excuse me.
My man, what is up?
Money, right? Been a while. Your money's been piling up. Here, that should provide for an interesting evening.
Finally, you're back. I thought maybe something happened to you. I shouldn't even think such a thing. I mean, if you disappeared, how could I go on? But you're here now. I'm so glad when you're near me.
So keep dialing those magic numbers.
This feeling. It's love. Oh, all I can feel is love for you. I almost forgot. I got a college loan check today. Here, I want you to take some of the money. I'd rather you kept it. I think I'm gonna drop out of school. You know, so I can watch over you during the day or run errands for you. It's the least I can do to earn my keep. I'll try to get more, you know, when I can.
Yes, I think that's implied by the title of the show.
Do you ever worry, Deb, that the world is going to end?
I haven't felt that way since Brad Pitt got married.
Anything for you. Okay.
Where to?
Huh?
I can't understand why someone would go through the trouble of stealing a box with a very ancient corpse. This city's not that dull. I'm an archaeologist, so I thought I'd indulge in a quick study of this Ankaran sarcophagus everyone's so riled up about. My guess, from what I've read about it, is that it's a mummified Mesopotamian king. I needed confirmation. Oh, I really wish I had. All this speculation about the sarcophagus containing an antediluvian and being a portent of Gehenna is making me cringe. These are the kinds of ridiculous, superstitious assumptions I came here to debunk. No one I know has ever met one, but each of the clans and their bloodlines supposedly trace their origin to an original vampire, an antediluvian. Some swear these grandsires still exist into the present, but then kindred and kind believe a lot of strange things. Armageddon, doomsday, the end of all kindred. It's a common facet of most mythologies. Fear that the world will end. Many believe Cain and the antediluvians will return to consume or destroy all kindred. I wholeheartedly disagree. Cain is the biblical first kindred and founder of the mythological first city, Enoch, a place where kindred and kind coexisted. I believe Cain's a figure concocted to personify the transition from nomadic society to agrarian society. That myth, like most, has been twisted by time. Thin bloods rarely exhibit features or powers of their clan, and many can't embrace. Some are even rumored to have reproduced. Many kindred are terrified that their weak blood heralds the dissipation of every bloodline. Somewhat of an ignorant reactionary response, don't you think? What prophecy doesn't have vague apocryphal signs? Let's see. The usual ones cited are the appearance of thin bloods, Cain sightings, doom, gloom, that route. As I said, many cultures have the fear of some form of apocalypse. Kindred believed in these stories when they were human, and naturally carried them over into kindred myth. But it doesn't take a supernatural act to cause widespread destruction. Humans and kindred are just as capable of managing their own destruction as a deity. A self-realized Gehenna warrants more vigilance than a god-induced one, don't you agree? Such is my argument, which so frequently falls on deaf ears. For 300 years I've been trying to determine the function of our existence, the kindred's role in the world. I'm not content to attribute it to some act of supernatural biblical vengeance. We exist for a reason, and if it takes another 300, I'll figure it out. Any thoughts? Yes, I've heard that theory before. It certainly seems plausible, but there's little proof to support it. Still, it's a better explanation than a divine sentence for manslaughter. Remember, the truth won't be told in time. It will be told by us. Well, my work here is stolen away into the night. Think I'll do the same.
Excuse me, starting to doze off there. Well, I need to get a guard animal of some sort to alert me when folks come in. Maybe one of them chimps like on that show 8 Detective? Oh, that monkey always gets his man. What? Oh, yeah, Mr. LaCroix's expecting you. For a young guy, he sure likes to work late. Me, I spent most of my youth in the entertainment industry. Yeah, I guarded the sets for over 6 top 10 TV shows.
The folly of leadership is knowing that no matter what you do, behind your back there's hundreds, certain that their own solution is the sounder one, and that your decision was the byproduct of a whimsical dart toss. I pronounce the blast sentence, and I soak the critical fallout. I make the decisions no one else will. Leadership. I wear the albatross and a bullseye. I've had my fill of sycophants. I need adjutants I can trust. The blood hunt on Nines Rodriguez for the murder of Alistair Grout will be called. Rodriguez's execution is only a matter of time. I have lit the fuse. If a war ignites, it's my head that will sharpen the pikes for. At least I can rest easy in knowing that you, my most promising attendant, has relieved me of one encumbrance tonight. Do you need assistance bringing the sarcophagus up to my office? Stolen? Stolen? How? Who would... Oh, Gary. Gary, you treasonous maggot. I should have anticipated your treachery, sewer rat. The Nosferatu Primogen. The Nosferatu were responsible for finding out where the sarcophagus was taken after the Dane, and for getting keys to the museum. They were the only ones who knew. It's obvious to me now. My mistake. I want him found. I want him... found. The sarcophagus could be exploited, causing who knows what catastrophe to this city. If it were to fall into the wrong hands... The Nosferatu lurk in the filth below the streets of Hollywood, but not even I know just where they hide. Hollywood is, unfortunately, lacking in any Camarilla loyalties. Hollywood's baron is an anarch named Isaac. Isaac's more civil than the anarchs downtown, but nonetheless he wears his mistrust of me on his sleeve. He may know how to contact the Nosferatu. Find Gary and get him to talk. That sarcophagus could be used against us. Do not come back until you have it. Now, I must announce the blood hunt, and bear the brunt of all consequences. Escort him out.
Yes. Yes, this is genuine and of use to me. There is something resonating from it. A whisper. I will give you this in trade. It is known as the Odious Chalice. It swells with spilled blood and offers its bloat to its owner.
Money, right? Been a while. Your money's been piling up. Here, that should provide for an interesting evening.
You're back. I went out this evening and I met someone and he wouldn't leave me alone, so he came back here with me and, well, I thought you might want to drink his blood. I'm just glad you're pleased. He's in the bathroom. Don't worry, I locked him in. It's you. Earlier tonight, you weren't following me, were you? I had this feeling like I was being watched. Maybe it's nothing, but I'm still a little shook up. Want you dead? Why? How could anyone think of harming someone so extraordinary? If they're after you, yes, I'll do it. You just need to learn how to use a gun first. I will.
I assume you do sleep, right?
I sleep at work.
And what exactly do you do?
I'm a middle school teacher.
Like my nephew invested that 20 I sent him for his birthday on magic beans. It's always good to know that the future of our country is in good hands, isn't it? Oh boy. Let's see who else we got. Caller, what do you do for a living?
I'm Roger.
Okay, and what do you do, Roger?
I'm a
What the
writer.
hell is this shit?
Have you written
Let me out,
any
goddammit!
movies I might
I'll
have
kill
seen?
that crazy
No, I
bitch!
actually haven't finished any screenplays yet.
Psycho
I see.
bitch brought me
So,
here,
you
hit
done
me
any
in the head and
original?
locked me up.
Well, just some
What the
outlines
fuck?
for now, but
I mean, who the fuck does that?
ideas for some stories that are crawling around in the old noggin.
So, if you haven't really written anything, how can you call yourself a writer?
Oh, so she's gonna play it like
Because
that,
I
huh?
fix my toilet
All right.
doesn't make me a
All right, just let me out. I want to get
Is
as
there
far away
anyone
from
in
that
this
crazy
city that doesn't
bitch as
call themselves
possible.
A writer or actor or director? Don't you think you're doing a disservice to those who actually make films or films by deeming yourself something you're not?
Master?
Where to?
Picked up a Spaz 15 this morning. Cleaned, oiled, and just waiting to put a hole through something. You interested?
Where to?